thought I was out of it. There's no way. There's no way.
Oh my god! For weeks and weeks and weeks!
The ancestral infant head is truly the peak of dog shit. In fact, I'd go as far as to say it is Fromsoftware's magnum opus of ass. The ancestral infant head is like Dung Eater if he was turned into an item. Now, I know I've called many items in Elden Ring dog shit, but this one is truly the worst. So like any real man does when they find the most dog shit item in Elden Ring, obviously I had to beat the game using it. I'm gonna tell you right now, I haven't beat it and it's been nothing but pain and misery. I have spent 25 hours of my life using this item, and let me tell you, it truly is the worst. And mind you, for 10 of those 25 hours, I have been fighting Radagon and Elden Beast, and oh my god, I fucking hate Radagon. The only good thing about using Ancestral Infant Head on Radagon is the fact that it is one of the few things that he cannot parry. Everything else about using the Infant Head on Radagon is ass. And do not even get me started on Elden Beast. The moment I finish this game using the Ancestral Infant Head, I am never touching this item again in my life. Now, I know when it comes to Elden Ring, people have many questions, you know, whether it be lore or about Melina or, you know, whatever. You know what I want to know? I want to know why those little troll orc guys at the bottom of the map dance around with this skull as if it's something joyous and fun to use. Is it all a ruse? Is it all some sort of sick joke to these people? Why would they do that? Why? Why would they make me think that I would have fun using this item? Now at this point, you're probably asking yourself, well, you know, why is this item so bad? What makes it the apex of dog shit? Well, I'll tell you what. So if you don't know what the Ancestral Infant Head actually is, it's literally a skull of an infant deer, I think, and it spews out blue fire for whatever reason. You can think of it as the skull of Bambi if Bambi was being punished for his sins, you know, being created into the worst item imaginable. Anyways, that sounds pretty badass, right? You know, you got this fucking deer head, it shoots out blue flames, oh my god. That sounds pretty hardcore, so it must be good, it has to be. There's no way they could make a deer skull that shoots flames out bad, right? No. Wrong, bitch. This thing has no redeeming qualities. It has horrendous range, horrendous casting speed, mediocre damage, and on top of that, it takes a pretty good chunk of FP to use. It's actually as if someone at Fromsoft was going out of their way to try to make this the worst item they have ever created. Oh yeah, I almost forgot to mention too, the fire that the skull shoots out, it has travel time. It doesn't actually start burning until it touches the floor. Also, the fire only lasts about 4 or 5 seconds. Now, the Ancestral Infant Head might have actually been good if this game was Dark Souls, but in Elden Ring, there's so many bosses that are just extremely fast. You know, they just hammer move after move after move, and that significantly makes this weapon a lot worse. So the Infant Head's fire is actually magic damage, not fire damage, so I think the best thing to compare it to would be sorceries. There are quite a bit of sorceries that have a similar casting speed to the Infant Head. However, the thing is, all those spells have range and good damage. The Infant Head doesn't have that. On my Ancestral Infant Head build that I've been using to run through the game, I have around 75 intelligence. Now I have this high amount of intelligence because that is what the Infant Head scales off of. It has A scaling in intelligence. On Radagon specifically, when he's not moving, this gives me around 800 damage. Now that damage is actually like, it's pretty decent, right? But the thing is that Radagon will never just be standing there. In fact, that one glitch where you just walk to his right and he freezes, it's been patched out, so goodbye to that. So when Radagon's actually moving, our damage is more like 400 to 500 maybe. And that's with the headband buff. If you didn't know, the little horns I'm wearing on my head actually makes the Infant Head do more damage. Imagine how much damage it does without it. For the amount of FP a single cast of the Infant Head takes, plus the casting speed that leaves you very vulnerable to getting hit. It's just not worth it at all. Now let's take a look at 2 sorceries you can get pretty early on. You know, you would consider them to be weaker sorceries: Glintstone Pebble and Carrion Slicer. At 75 intelligence with Lusat's Staff, these 2 early game sorceries already can outdamage the Infant Head with just 2 casts. Now mind you, casting those sorceries twice already outdamages the Infant Head. It's much faster and it takes way less FP. If all that isn't enough to convince you that this is one of the worst items in Elden Ring, I don't know what will. Of course, that's not counting Ruin Fragments, because let's be real, Ruin Fragments aren't actually meant for damage, while the Infant Head is. After this, I don't know if I'm gonna make any more videos about like the worst items in Elden Ring, because I'm pretty sure I found it. I'm like 99% sure this is the worst. Now I'm sure many of you are thinking that maybe the Infant Head is very situational. It's a situational item and there has to be a situation where the Infant Head shines. Unfortunately, I don't think that's the case. I have played through the entire game using this item, all the way up to Radagon. I still haven't beat him, but I will, and there has not been one situation where I thought, wow, the Infant Head really shines here. I mean, the only thing I could think of is maybe when fighting like a magma worm, you know, some big boss. But even then, there's still a bunch of other items I would prefer to use than the Infant Head. Honestly, I'm actually pretty happy that the Ancestral Infant Head is pretty bad. The Ancestral Infant Head only run is honestly the hardest run I have ever done in my life. And I'm thankful for it, because once I beat Radagon and Elden Beast using the Ancestral Infant Head, I will have mastered Elden Ring. I will come out as a new man. So if anyone's taking this video as complaining, I'm not. I'm actually glad this thing sucks ass. It's no secret that Elden Ring has a bunch of OP unbalanced items. So when I see an item like this one, it makes me happy. Anyways, if you want to witness history be made, come on down to twitch.tv/Skumnut, because I will finally be beating the game with the Ancestral Infant Head. I will do it today, hopefully, maybe, who knows. Anyways, that's pretty much about it. If you enjoyed, drop a like. If you're new, subscribe, and I'll see you next time, where hopefully I will have evolved as a human from beating Radagon with an infant head.